All right, I definitely think I'm becoming a 280 guy instead of a Fox body guy. I haven't seen this thing out in the sun yet like this. And it looks so good. All right, guys, so I'm gonna move this car into the shop. So I gotta take the Mustang out and put it on this side of the shop. Just because it's a lot easier with all my tools over here to, you know, start working on the wiring and the engine stuff. So we got a Speedway harness. This was a couple $100, and you get the fuse panel, which is mounted right there. I know it's hard to see, but it's mounted to the side there, and just some of the preliminary wiring that I got to go through. I know it looks kind of crazy, but it should not be that difficult. Pretty straightforward. I did get some of the wires that go to the back. These are the tail lights, brake lights, what else, and turn signals and whatnot, you know, whatever goes to the back. And yeah, just kind of laid it out. I didn't, you know, I haven't really started running it through the body or anything like that, but got a battery box. This battery box here, I'm not sure if it's going to go there. If it does, it'll have to go like out here a little bit, or maybe this way. I'm not sure, but you gotta mount it in a way so you can get the battery in and out. So, but I kind of liked it there, but that's definitely not going to work. It's got to come out a little bit. But yeah, so like I said, it'll just be easier to work on in here. And what else have we done? I haven't really done much since the last video. Just more like buying stuff and kind of working on some of the mechanicals. I did start working on the JZ, getting that all finished up, ready to go. It's right here. I got the timing belt on, painted these valve covers I got off eBay for 75 bucks with some like rhino liner stuff. Looks pretty good. Painted this little cover just to kind of make it all look the same. And yeah, I got to do the oil pan. I did clean up the bottom half of the oil pan and painted that gloss black. We ordered a manifold that hasn't gotten here yet. Pretty much I just reused everything that was on here. This engine was in really good shape when I got it. So, you know, I put the water pump back on it and I put the oil pump back on it. Everything was just in really good shape, so I didn't see any need to replace anything. And even the timing belt had already been replaced. So, but yeah, it's all in time, ready to go. I'm just waiting on another cover I ordered. These covers here get oil on them and they start getting swollen and they start rubbing on the balancer. So I just wanted to order another one of those because this one looks like trash. This mid piece here looks pretty good. I kind of washed it, and this looks pretty good. So this will go up under here, like so. That looks pretty good. But you'll notice that I decided to go with a different intake. I was going to use this setup here, but it was going to cost me some money and to have to get another throttle body and get a you know, the fuel rail and all that. I was going to spend a bunch of money to get this to work, whereas this costs the same, and it comes with the throttle body, it comes with the fuel rail, everything. It's all ready to go. So I picked one of those up, and I mean, it looks so much better. You know, I know these are kind of, you know, people don't like them because they crack under high boost. Well, I mean, the 15 pounds of boost I'm going to be running on this, I don't think it's going to crack. Even if it does, you know, we've got a TIG welder. So, but yeah, I mean, this is going to look way better than, you know, that intake right there. The only issue I'm thinking is this right here. I've heard there could be some interference issues with the strut on the strut tower on these. I don't think so though, because I kind of measured it and it looks like it's going to clear, but I don't know. We'll see. The throttle body might be in a weird position where we're going to have to come up with some weird angles, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, let me get this car out of here. We'll get this car in there. I don't know what I'm really gonna be doing today on this video. I just kind of wanted to, I hate getting too far ahead. And then, you know, I make because I'm really busy right now with a lot of other things. And when I make a video, I'm way ahead of where I was from the previous video. So I'm just it's kind of an update, but I don't know, we'll go over a few things. Maybe that will help you guys out, a few tips and tricks on these 2JZ GEs. I'll go over some of that stuff. There's a lot of myths and misconceptions about the GE, and we'll go over that. But anyway, let me get this all switched out, and yeah, I'll go from there. All right, guys, we got them switched out. Got this car over here, more room for work and activities. So what I want to do in this video, though, I just want to go over a couple things with the GE on how you set it up to run, you know, without the distributor and, you know, put it on a standalone and all that. This is going to be just like general information. The forums, you know, they're very helpful, but to be honest, there's some misinformation on there and misleading stuff, okay? I'm gonna run this engine on wasted spark. So all I need is my crank trigger, which this already has. If you have a GE that I think it was in 96, I think. Don't quote me on this. I might be wrong, probably wrong. But I think like at a certain year, they started putting a crank trigger on these, okay? And as you can see, all it is the oil pump, okay? You need a oil pump that has the crank trigger spot, okay? And then you need the wheel. Well, this came with both, okay? So I know this was like 96, 97-ish, or maybe 95. I don't remember the dates, but anyway, that's what you're gonna want. You're gonna want the crank trigger, and you want the toothed wheel. You want the one that has more teeth, not the one that has, let's see if I have it here. Yeah, this is like the older Super style. That's only got those amount of teeth. This is better, more resolution, okay? And you can also, let's see, you can also run a hall sensor on that also, which is what I do on this car. That's what I have. I made my own little bracket. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's actually a hall sensor. So I got rid of the VR sensor, which VR is it's more of an analog signal, and the hall is more of a digital signal. So it's just more accurate, okay? So, but either one's gonna work for you. If you're doing a stock GE rebuild like I did here, and I'm only gonna be, you know, running 15 pounds of boost, you can use either, it doesn't matter, okay? And you do not need a cam trigger, okay? All you gotta do is run it in wasted spark. Now, there's kind of like a little stigmatism, people talking about wasted spark. It works really good. There's really no drawbacks on it. Now, if you were gonna be running something like high powered and you want to individually time your cylinders, meaning you've got, let's say you got EGTs on your header, and you have a cylinder that's a little cold or a little hot, you can play with your timing individually on the cylinders, okay? If you have full sequential timing or spark, full sequential spark, okay? But if you don't, I mean, with this level of build, this little 15 pounds of boost, little street car, wasted spark works perfect. You don't have to go through the trouble of putting, you know, a cam trigger here, or like I did on this, because I'm running more boost on this, obviously. I'll probably be running up to 40 pounds of boost on this. So eventually, if I do get EGTs, or if I want to adjust individual cylinder timing, I can. So what I did here was I welded on, I made a fitting and welded on a crank trigger or a cam trigger, okay? And that's also a hall sensor. So I have both on this, and all that really does is it tells the ECU what cycle it's on. Okay, and it has no ill effects on it whatsoever. All it's doing is firing the spark plug during the exhaust stroke, which the exhaust is leaving the engine. All it's doing is adding a spark. It's really no big deal. So anyway, that's what we'll be doing on here to keep it simple. So that's one thing. That's a little bit of a misconception. Don't be afraid of wasted spark. And you can run them with, like if you buy individual coils, like I have over here, you can do that. You just wire them together. So you wire the two that, I think it's 1 and 6, 2 and 4, and 3 and 5, or no, 3 and 4, 2 and 5, 1 and 6, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, you just wire them together so they fire at the same time, and then you set it up in the ECU to do that. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, and then the other thing is you're going to want to cover this hole. This is where the distributor was. So you're going to want to, get a cover for that. I know Dave sells them. He put one on mine. It's a little cover. See, you want to cover that up. Otherwise, oil will be splashing out of there. Okay, so that's another thing you're going to want to do. Now, another thing a lot of people talk about is, oil feed line. How are you going to get your oil? You got to drill a hole over here for your oil feed line in one of these. No, you don't. You just take it and you tee it off of over here where this sensor is. Okay, there's a sensor here. I'm going to take this off and I'm going to put a T here and I'm going to run a oil pressure gauge, a mechanical oil pressure gauge, and I'm going to run another line that's going to come up here. Maybe I can even, I don't know, maybe I can go through this hole, come out here. I don't know, I'll have to look. I don't know. The cam gear's in there, so that might not be a good idea. I just thought of that just now, but I don't think that would be a very good idea. It might though, it might work. You could probably run it through here and then maybe zip tie it to these bolts or get some P-clamps here and here to clamp your, your oil feed so it'll hide it. Anyway, I don't know, I just got off on a little tangent there. But anyway, so you run a T and then it's gonna come up, you're gonna come over here and you're gonna feed your turbo, okay? So great, now you got your turbo fed. Now you gotta drain it. Now a GE, this is a rear sump GE pan. They don't come with a drain. They come for a provision, okay? It comes with provision right here and here where you could put one, which is what I did here. And you got to drill it out. So then you have your feed, your drain back to the oil pan. There's a couple different ways you can do it. This one here, I actually just had an extra bung. This is like a number 10 bung. And I just welded it on because my welding is getting a little better. So I feel more confident doing it. Whereas the other option would be like on this car, you just buy the flange, okay? There's a flange that you can buy. You see how it's got 2 bolts and it just bolts to the pan. And then you can, drill it out that way. I do believe you have to tap those holes though. So keep that in mind. These holes here, they're just blanks. They're not threaded. So you would actually have to tap those, okay? So now you got your turbo, you got your oil feed line, you got your drain. You can run your wasted spark. You don't have to run all that sequential stuff. It's not a big deal. And that's it. You're good to go, right? All this other stuff they talk about on the forums, that you need this kit, you need the, whatever. I mean, it's really not necessary, okay? Yeah, so those are the things I kind of wanted to go over and share with you guys, and hopefully you got something out of it. Pretty much this thing is almost ready to go. Like I said, I got this intake instead of that intake, and I do have a throttle body, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use that throttle body or go with drive-by-wire. I'm still undecided on that. The throttle body on this is gigantic. It's a 90 millimeter, which that's the same size I have on that, and for 15 pounds of boost, I could use a 50 millimeter throttle body if I wanted to, but whatever, we'll figure it out. And then that's pretty much it, okay? Your coolant lines, what you're gonna wanna do is there's a fitting that comes out here. I don't know where it's at, somewhere here. That goes to the inlet, or the return on your radiator. This is over here is gonna suck from your radiator, all right? And then this, what you wanna do with this is this is gonna go to your heater core, Okay, if you're not gonna run your heater core, you could cap it off. I don't recommend it because you kind of want fluid coming back here and recirculating. So most likely what I'm gonna do is, let's see, there's this tube here, okay? This tube goes all the way to the back. I'm gonna probably add a fitting on here that I can run to my heater core in this. So we'll come out of here, we'll do like a T, come over to the heater core, and then that hard line will bolt to this, come across here, and I think it bolts to here, if I'm not mistaken, and then we'll come off of that to the heater core. So it'll loop through the heater core, come back to here, and then go through the engine and back to your radiator through there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, guys, so I think that's gonna do it for this video. I just wanted to show you those few things. Hopefully it helps you with your build or whatever you're working on. They're just not that complicated. This is probably the most simple engine of all time. That's what makes it so great. So anyway, that's gonna do it, y'all. Check you later.